Welcome to another Demarcation Media Mega Construx review. Today we're going to be looking at the last Spartan standing set. And this set is really interesting because it is one of 3 sets that essentially revives the microfleet helmet storage containers, but better. So I'm really excited for this video, but before we go any further, I wanted to say a huge thank you to YouTuber Minimum Effort. He was the one that hooked me up with this as well as the other 2 of these helmet sets. So his channel will be linked in the description. Definitely go check him out. Alright, so let's take a look at this packaging, and I actually really like this packaging. Like all the angles and just the way it looks, because the first thing you see is this helmet and it really pops. And then you look and you realize, oh wait, there's some figures with this set too. You can kind of see right here. Nothing really around that side, but around this side we get a little display. Look at that. And then around the back we get to see our Spartans in here again. So I really like that. That's a really eye-catching setup. They could have easily just put this in a box or something. To get it out, well, I'm not going to be keeping the packaging anyway, so let's just shred it. Let's see, are there pieces? Okay, so this is just hollow. So there's a little like twisty tie kind of thing in here. That pulls off, and then there's a tab that's stuck into the helmet. Okay. Let me just, oh, okay, so that pops off just by pulling. And we have, ooh, look at those greens. So there is 3 bags in there, 1 for the parts and for the 2 figures. And then, oh, this is like a plastic tab. Okay. There's that all out, and then we'll pull that out. And then, so this just kind of, let's see, how does it go on? Cool. Let's see here. Take a look at the instructions. So it looks like we're going to be using the back of the helmet as the kind of stand. Oh wow, it's a big sheet. Yeah, so we're going to actually be building onto it. Okay. Interesting. Oh, there's the other 2. The capture the flag helmet and the skull control helmet. Very cool. Another piece of cardboard. There are not many parts in this set, but dang, there's some nice ones. A rock. It's kind of shiny looking, but what can you do? I think the older ones, I've got a bag of the older ones somewhere. I don't think they were quite that shiny. But these greens, look at that. That's the first time I've gotten some of these greens pieces. Well, I have some of these, not these. Alright, so let me go ahead and put this together and we'll take a closer look. Alright, there's everything put together. And actually, I want to go ahead and start with the build and the helmet. And we'll look at the figures in a minute. Alright, so we have our helmet, which the helmet itself is done so well. Like, you'll see kind of how well this is done as opposed to the other older helmets in a minute. But we've got this matte green. Looks very nice. And then the visor, which is kind of a, I guess it's printed because the inside is all just gray. So if that's a print, that's really nice. And then we've got the gray showing through. How cool is that? That's very well done. And then, as I said, the back comes off, and then you get to put together this little scene, which for being so, I don't want to say sparse because the final build is not sparse. So for using so few pieces, it actually looks very good. Got the rock there, a bit of, I guess, wreckage. of maybe a ship or maybe a falling apart section of a building, and then we've just got some greens. So that's really cool. And then up here we have a peg to stick the enemy figure to have him jumping, because I think whenever there's like the infection modes, the zombie Spartans can jump really well. So that's pretty cool. Now let me detach all this extra stuff and we'll compare the helmets. And in case you were wondering, there are some studs on the bottom. That piece here just kind of sticks on there. So let's move those aside. There's our helmet, and then that is the old Microfleet Warthog helmet. Look at the difference. Number one, the difference in size, but just the difference in quality too. The difference is like night and day. I mean, sure, this chrome stuff is cool, but it's a little tacky looking when you compare it with this, because this is so clean and just looks good. And the back section here, this is way more versatile than this giant piece here. This piece is kind of hard to use. It has the tabs on it to make it hard to actually like put into a diorama. So overall, this new helmet definitely wins out. And then, just for the heck of it, there is the buildable helmet. Those actually look really nice next to each other, I gotta say. All right, I gotta try one more thing. Moving on to the figures, we have a green Spartan Carter, or if you want to be a little more precise, this is a Spartan Commando. And his head is actually done very well. The gray is very crisp and clean. The visor is done well. It's a little on the thin side, so it comes off as more silver in person than gold. But honestly, it looks fine. He's got... I honestly don't know what this shoulder pad is called, but it's a fairly normal one. However, it is supposed to be the same color as the forearm, but because of the marbling, it just kind of ended up darker. That's just kind of part of the marbling effect. No print around the back. Actually, the print on the head is about all the print we've got, because we have all these like shotgun shells or grenades here, but none of them are printed, which is slightly disappointing, but it actually doesn't look as bad as I first thought. There we go. This side is default shoulder pad, which to me looks great. I love this piece. I know a lot of people don't like it because it's too big, but I really do like it. His weapon is a bulldog shotgun, just in plain gray, but honestly, I think that's fine because this is a great weapon. Like, it's just really fun to play around with. The double handles is really cool. And, you know, having more plain weapons is a great way to start some customizing. His head is a little on the sticky side, but other than that, there was really no terrible quality control issues. This shoulder was a little bit on the loose side and I had to sticky tack it, but that was about it. Let's get in a couple of quick comparisons. So there is the Commando Spartan from the Armor Customizer. You can see he has the same chest plate, but his little shotgun shell things are all printed up. I gotta say though, I think that the gray print on this green helmet is done better than the black on this guy. But still, they look pretty good next to each other. And then, of course, we need to bring in the real Spartan Carter. That blue and that green actually goes so well together. I really like that, actually. The biggest draw of this set, though, I'm sure, is going to be this glow-in-the-dark Gungnir. It's been a long time since we've seen a glow-in-the-dark figure in a set, and Mega has brought it back here, and I love it. It's so good, especially that's the new Gungnir design. So we've got an old-style energy sword in green, which looks awesome. Got a silver arm, and we got this big glow-in-the-dark shoulder pad, which, oddly enough, has the same rattly issue as the Commandos. Like, it's the same side too. So I wonder if it's more an issue with the arm piece, maybe? I don't know, it's kind of strange. We got a printed knife. The head is done fantastically, as usual. The eye is in blue this time. There it is around the back. So let me go ahead and drop in the rest of the Gungnir's that we have so far. Come on. Stand up. And then my personal favorite, which is the red one. Look at that. Oh, he doesn't want to stand up either. Come on. That looks really, really good. Now, I would be amiss if I did not bring in a couple of the older glow-in-the-dark figures. So there is the Scout and the EVA with another old-style sword, which they're about the same color. I think the new one's a little more vibrant. Look at that. And then, let me grab a flashlight. This probably looks terrible on camera, but it's for a good cause. All right, ready? Oh, fudge. Hold on, I'm gonna have to block off some more light. Okay, so I actually have to use my display cabinet because the light from my window is too much. So let's try this again. Ah, look at that. It doesn't show up real good on camera, which is a little disappointing because these guys actually have an amazing glow. Ah, how cool is that? Well, there you have it. That is the last Spartan standing set. And I gotta say, Mega has quite impressed me with these new helmets. It's an entire scene, play scenario, whatever you want to call it, all packed into one tiny little helmet. And it's just really good. Quality control seems to be pretty good overall. The prints for all the figures is good. If I had to point anything out, obviously the loose shoulder pieces, and there are a couple joints that feel kind of loose. And the Gungnir's lower leg was starting to come off. I don't know if that was just because it didn't get pushed on all the way in the package or what. But nothing like that strikes me as a huge, major quality control issue. It's just a good set. Now, retail for these, I think, for most places at least, it is $10. I know there were some websites that are selling for like 12 or 13. And then, of course, we've got our buddies, the scalpers, who like to drive the prices up and are trying to sell these for 30 bucks. This is not a $30 set. It's not worth $30. It just isn't. $10 is perfect. 12 or 13 is still pretty good. 20 or 30, that's too much. That is way too much. So if you're hoping to get some of these, I would say wait a little while if they're not in your local stores, because you really, really don't want to be paying $30 for these. Even though it is a really good set, just not worth 30 bucks. And again, huge thanks to Minimum Effort, because without him, this video might not be happening, because I am not going to pay $30 for one of these sets. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.